What do you think of when you hear the word narcissist? Maybe someone who is always looking for praise, never happy, and always wants to be admired? These traits are very important to a narcissist's mindset, but there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. One of the most interesting, and often scary, things about narcissists is how strongly they hate certain things. This is often because their egos are so fragile. If you've ever thought what makes a narcissist tick, or why they get so angry about certain things, this book will give you a clear picture of their mind. If you stay with me until the end, you'll find out what makes them so angry, frustrated, and even destructive. With these new ideas, you might be able to handle relationships with selfish people better and stay safe from their harmful actions. Before we get into these shocking facts, I'd like to take a moment to invite you to join the talk. For those who are new to this channel, please remember to join, like, and share the video with people who could use the information. Knowing why narcissists act the way they do can give you power, and your support means a lot. If you sign up, you'll always know about the newest articles that can help you look after your mental health and understand the complicated world of narcissism. Naturally, narcissists are very self-centered people who often live in a world they made up for themselves. They think they are more important than they really are, and are always looking for approval from other people. This constant need for praise isn't just a want, it's an emotional need that needs to be met. A fragile sense of self-worth lies beneath the arrogance of these people, one that is very sensitive to any threat that threatens their carefully built image. But what a lot of people don't understand is that narcissists often have deep-seated fears, even though they seem sure of themselves. The outside world can't see these fears, but they are at the heart of their mental turmoil. When these fears are sparked, narcissists can have strong, explosive responses that may not make sense for the situation. What's really scary is that the things that make narcissists afraid may seem harmless to other people, but to them, they are grave threats. No matter how harmless these triggers may seem to you, they are direct attacks on their weak ego and their desperate need to be in charge. First, being ignored is the biggest threat of all. The act of being forgotten is one of the worst things that can happen to a narcissist. At first glance, it might look like they're just people who want respect, but the truth is much more complicated. Ignoring them isn't just a matter of not getting praise or admiration for them. It feels like a matter of mental survival. Narcissists often need to be validated all the time, and if they don't get it, they start to feel like they don't exist. They feel suffocated when someone ignores or doesn't care about them, whether it's through physical silence, mental withdrawal, or even not meeting their needs. It's like their very personality starts to fall apart. They think that being forgotten means they are not important or noticeable to the people around them. This feeling is completely against how they see themselves. So when they are ignored, narcissists often do crazy things to get attention again. They might act like a victim and use guilt and trickery to get people to come back to them. They might act worse, wanting more, acting irrationally, or even getting mean. Any kind of disrespect for a narcissist feels like an attack on them personally, and they usually react in a very strong way. Ignoring someone isn't just annoying or painful. It's an attack on their sense of self-worth and how important they think they are. This is why they get so angry when they are ignored. It breaks down the thin shell that guards their ego. Second, they lose control, which hurts their ego. Losing control is another important thing that makes a narcissist act out. Being in charge is very important to narcissists. In every setting, from conversations to interactions with other people, they need to be in charge. Control is not just something they want, it's something they have to have. It helps them keep up a good picture of themselves and makes sure that other people see them the way they want them to be seen. Narcissists lose control when they lose control of a personal situation, a work situation, or a relationship. This affects who they are deeply. For them, losing power means losing who they are as a person. They feel angry and desperate when they think about being pushed or stopped by someone else. They will do anything to stay in charge, and anyone who tries to question their power is seen as a very serious threat. Depending on the setting, they may act in different ways if they feel like they are losing control. Some narcissists act out aggressively and use force to get back in control. Some people may act passive-aggressively, which can hurt those around them or make it impossible for someone else to take charge. In the worst situations, they may publicly lash out, becoming hostile and spiteful as they try to regain control. The most important thing to remember is that they need to feel in charge, and when they feel like it's slipping away, they often react in a very violent way. Narcissists will do anything to keep from losing control because it hurts their ego. They can't stand the thought of being seen as less than perfect, and when they lose control, they have to face their fears head-on. Third, vulnerability is what they fear the most. Perhaps the thing that narcissists fear most is being seen as weak, and they will do anything to avoid it. Narcissists think that being open and vulnerable means you are weak. Being vulnerable means someone can be criticized, seen as flawed, and their flaws could be shown. This is something they work hard to hide. Many of the things narcissists do are motivated by their fear of being seen as weak. They are always trying to keep up an image of perfection. They spend all of their time and energy trying to look perfect, and anything that might show their flaws makes them feel terrible. Being open and vulnerable means that a narcissist loses power over how other people see them, and they will do anything to avoid that risk. When their weak spots are shown, like when they are criticized, fail, or let their guard down emotionally, they act out in anger. They might get angry or defensive and try to put the blame on someone else, or they might attack the person who revealed them as a way to avoid responsibility. They might even emotionally shut down or pull away from the situation, refusing to deal with or recognize the problem. There are times when they may try to change the story or twist the facts to avoid facing their own flaws. People who are narcissistic are deeply afraid of being weak, and they react badly or avoid people who might threaten their carefully built image of perfection. Being seen as anything less than perfect hurts their frail egos so much that they will do anything to protect that image. For narcissists, being vulnerable means the front they've made will fall apart, and they can't let that happen. For not being the center of attention, for a narcissist, one of the worst things that can happen is not being the center of attention. They enjoy being the center of attention in any setting, whether it's a party, a business meeting, or just a casual chat. Think about being at a party where everyone is having fun and talking, and the narcissist isn't the center of attention. They are not going to sit quietly and blend in with the scenery at all. They will instead find a way to make the attention shine on themselves, even if that means talking over other people, making up stories, or acting out in dramatic ways. They need to be the center of attention more than just because they like it. It's a way for them to feel validated. For them, it gives them comfort to know that others see how great they are and that they count. So when someone else is given more attention than them, it makes them feel rejected and threatens their sense of who they are. This kind of neglect makes them very angry and resentful, and they may show it by withdrawing or trying to take over the talk to get back in charge. Their behavior may get worse and include things that are disruptive, like trying to control the talk, being louder or more intense, or trying to shine brighter than others. All of these things are meant to make them feel better about themselves by getting the respect they think they deserve. Narcissists really want to be the most important person in any room, and if they feel like that status is being threatened, they will do anything to make sure they are the center of attention again. 5. Criticism is an attack on your person. Criticizing someone is something that an ego can't stand. No matter if it's helpful criticism, a suggestion for change, or even a kind comment, a narcissist will see it as an attack on their identity. For them, criticism is more than just a note on something they could do better. It's an attack on their sense of self-importance and the well-thought-out picture they present to the world. Narcissists think they are perfect and need no criticism. Any kind of criticism hurts their carefully cultivated sense of perfection. It's very hard for them to take criticism and their first reaction is usually to deny it or get angry. They might be against the idea that they are flawed and fight back against any suggestions that they need to change or get better right away. A narcissist's whole sense of self is destroyed when they admit they have flaws, so they protect their weak ego with all their might. They might try to put the blame on someone else when they are criticized, or they might even get violent and attack the person who tried to challenge them. Sometimes, they may try to discredit the reviewer by saying bad things about their character or intelligence. This helps the narcissist take back control of the situation and feel good about themselves again. The narcissist's fragile ego can't handle the fact that they aren't perfect, and they will do anything to protect their image, even if it means hurting other people or ending relationships. Number 6. Questioning their beliefs, a threat to their power. When someone questions a narcissist's views or opinions, it's not just a disagreement. It's a direct threat to their authority and sense of how smart they are seen to be. People who are narcissists are very sure of what they know and how they see the world. They are so sure of what they believe that they can't imagine being wrong, and anyone who disagrees with them is seen as an insult. Being right is not just something a narcissist likes to do. It's important to their sense of self-worth and standing. They think that their views are better than other people's, and that any difference from their point of view is a sign of being less important. A narcissist usually gets defensive and angry when someone tries to question their beliefs. They might try to shame or discredit the person who pushed them in order to get them to give in, which is called belittling. Narcissists can't take being wrong because it breaks their false belief that they are perfect. When they accept they are wrong, they have to face the fact that their inflated sense of self-worth is fragile, and they will do anything to protect it. If the narcissist wants to get back in charge of the talk, they may get angry and insult, or make fun of the other person. In the worst cases, they might even try to change the situation by lying or changing events, so that their point of view makes it through. If you disagree with the narcissist, it's not just a mental exercise. It's a direct challenge to their power, and they will fight to protect what they think is right, no matter what. 7th, rejection is the worst kind of betrayal. One of the worst things that can happen to a narcissist is being rejected. Narcissists often put a lot of time and effort into getting other people to admire them, whether it's from a love partner, a friend, a coworker, or even a stranger. They think that this respect will last forever, so when it starts to fade, it often comes as a surprise. When someone they want to love, admire, or be loyal to starts to pull away or show independence, it can make them very angry. Rejection is the worst thing that can happen to a snob. It makes me feel like I've failed, and is a direct threat to their control and power. It's hard for them to imagine that someone they care so much about no longer loves them, and the thought of losing that person is very scary. The narcissist's sense of power is threatened by rejection, so they will do anything to avoid it. To keep the person's attention on them, they might try to control the situation by making them feel guilty, playing on their feelings, or even making threats or intimidating them. They see rejection not only as a loss of love, but also as an attack on their power to control and sway other people. People who are narcissists often fear being left alone, which can make them do terrible things. In order to win back the person's loyalty, they might act out in anger, be mean, or make empty vows. But their main fear is always the same. Losing someone they care about is a direct threat to their power and control, so they will do anything to keep it from happening. For a narcissist, rejection is more than just losing someone's love. It's a terrible blow to their sense of strength and control, and they will do anything to avoid it. Finally, if you want to avoid being manipulated by a narcissist, you need to know what they hate the most. You can have better relationships with narcissists if you know how to spot their fragile ego, constant need for control, and sensitivity to criticism. You can have healthier relationships that don't depend on satisfying the narcissist's constant need for approval if you set clear limits, keep your sense of self-worth, and are aware of the manipulative behaviors they use. Thanks for watching. I hope that this look at the things that narcissists dislike helped you understand how they act. If this movie helped you understand narcissistic behavior better, please like, subscribe, and share it with others who might find it useful. Thank you so much for your support. It helps people understand how to stay safe in bad relationships. Don't let anyone else's need to be in charge get in the way of your own peace of mind. Stay strong and true to yourself. What do you think of when you hear the word narcissist? Maybe someone who is always looking for praise, never happy, and always wants to be admired? These traits are very important to a narcissist's mindset, but there's a lot more going on than meets the eye. One of the most interesting, and often scary, things about narcissists is how strongly they hate certain things. This is often because their egos are so fragile. If you've ever thought what makes a narcissist tick, or why they get so angry about certain things, this book will give you a clear picture of their mind. If you stay with me until the end, you'll find out what makes them so angry, frustrated, and even destructive. With these new ideas, you might be able to handle relationships with selfish people better and stay safe from their harmful actions. Before we get into these shocking facts, I'd like to take a moment to invite you to join the talk. For those who are new to this channel, please remember to join, like, and share the video with people who could use the information. Knowing why narcissists act the way they do can give you power, and your support means a lot. If you sign up, you'll always know about the newest articles that can help you look after your mental health and understand the complicated world of narcissism. Naturally, narcissists are very self-centered people who often live in a world